Hey guys, it's Postboxpat. Welcome back to part 2 of the map changes. I hope part 1 gave you a good overview of this section of the map. There are a bunch of Easter eggs which I have just discovered in this section of the map, which we're going to dive into, and then we're going to go and look over at Paradise Palms and go and look at the few pirate bases and also look in the block in this part. And then if there are any other Easter eggs and changes, I'll produce a part 3, which will either come out later this evening or tomorrow, depending on how many I find. So let's jump straight into this and get into a little bit of detail about what is going on with some of these Easter eggs. So the first Easter egg, as you can see in the thumbnail, some of these Easter eggs are pretty major. We actually have the stone people. Now the stone people, if you remember, were calling for help with each other. Here is the ripped version of the male stone trooper, whatever you want to call him, stone statue, and he is actually kind of just fallen into the ground. Maybe he's really sad. I feel really sorry for him. He has unfortunately been destroyed by the huge mountain. Rip, my good old friend. He is a really awesome guy. Also, shout out to everybody on screen who's been using my support creator in the last video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go and use my support creator code Postboxpat. You guys can have a chance of getting a shout out in future videos, and also it does support me even if you claim your free battle pass. Anyway, let's not go too long on that because I did mention that in the last version of this video. So let's keep going over to the other side, and you'll notice that the female version of the stone statue is also ripped over here. I feel really sorry for these statues. They did unfortunately take a really bad death really to this huge mountain, and it was just unfortunate, and I feel very upset for them. You know, these two maybe were calling at each other after all about something coming, and they really did warn us throughout the entire of season 7 about things that were going on in the map. So sad time for these. I really do feel sorry for them, but there we are. We have the Easter egg and the remains of the stone statues. We also have this cave, which I didn't really go into. This is a kind of, I don't know what theme you want to class this is. I'm going to class it as the sunny theme, and you can actually go inside of here and collect a chest. It hasn't been fully opened up yet, but it looks like something in the future could happen at this section, and it could open up. I feel like we will start to get changes like that throughout season 8, and I'll be sure to keep you guys covered on my channel. The next one that you've probably seen in the thumbnail, which is a major Easter egg, is actually the Wailing Woods bunker. It still remains, and you can see it right here on screen. It's actually located just outside of Sunny, and it's just located here just outside of Sunny. It was quite hard to find, and I'm surprised I didn't notice it in part 1, but you can see we still have the Wailing Woods bunker down underneath there. So they still have concluded it and left it in the game, or have concluded that it's going to still stay in the game, and you can see it just down there. It now has been overgrown with some nice scenery around it really. I'll be sure to get a better screenshot of this for the thumbnail with more light and stuff, because it's quite dark in here really. I want you guys to proper see it. You probably did see it, but yeah, it's pretty cool, and I really do like it. So it's nice, and it's cool to see them still keeping that in the game really, because obviously it's going to play a big part somewhere in the Fortnite Battle Royale storyline. So as we keep exploring this section of the map, there is also a bunch of other Easter eggs which I have picked up on. I've kind of explored around most of it and seen a lot of stuff. If you guys haven't already checked my video out on the face locations, this is a pretty cool Easter egg known as a face on this mountain. There are also 2 other faces around the entire map, which I've covered in a challenge video for those that haven't already completed it. Alright guys, I've switched over to the spawn island because I thought this was a very noticeable map change, which I thought I'd look into in a little bit more depth for you guys just quickly. So the spawn island has completely been revamped, completely redesigned as well. It still has its runway for the battle bus to take off. We now have a variety of different stuff on the spawn island, to be honest. We've got a collapsed, kind of fallen over battle bus here. We also have the runway. We still have the traditional hangar here with a battle bus inside, but it definitely feels like it's quite crowded. This battle bus is almost scraping against this door right here, which is a cool little secret feature. We've also got 2 new huts in here with a few beds and stuff. Kind of looks like some sort of Hunger Games island maybe, and I really do like the idea of it. Looks like people are living here now, and this is where you live before you get deployed, and then you get on the battle bus and go in for a fight. I like the way they've redesigned it into that sort of a sense, because it really starts to make the Fortnite storyline actually start to fit together. This to me just feels like this is where you will come before the Battle Royale map starts. Obviously we do that, but in a storyline sense, that is where this fits in. I think it's really nice. It's kind of like an abandoned section, and does remind me of many type of films that do have this sort of setting on an abandoned island, until you go into battle for the last one standing, which I think is a very cool concept. Again, another cool garage around the back over here, just trying to explore the island, see if there's any cool Easter eggs and stuff that are noticeable. Other than that, it feels like that's everything we really have. We also have these kind of like tire area here, this bridge that goes across. There's a lot of stuff that kind of like parkour that goes up here. There's absolute tons where you guys can explore and see if there's anything inside quickly there, and that's really it in this section. Is there anything inside this building? Not really. I guess you can break into that and see what's around, but nothing really hitting any Easter eggs or anything. If you guys do notice anything though, remember to tweet me at Postboxpat. We even have a helipad here, potential new vehicle. We have the planes, maybe a helicopter could be a cool vehicle. I don't know if that will come in, but it is a potential into Fortnite Battle Royale. You just don't know what they could introduce. They could introduce anything at any moment. So let's move on to the creative island, which has actually been changed as well. Alright guys, so now we are at the creative / playground island. This is the brand new playground island which you guys can pop into if you select the playground mode. You know, you're going to be able to do a few different things from here. You're actually going to be able to teleport to the Fortnite Battle Royale map through these portals here. I don't really want to go over how it works, and you've got mini games on your left and right as well. But let's just explore the island itself, because that is what I'm doing in today's video, secret map changes. So there's a little secret about this island which not many people will know. You can actually go inside of this huge volcano here, which I guess is the second volcano because we had the first one over there. Looks like one's popped up in the sea, but you'll only see this in the playground side of Battle Royale, and inside of here it's just not designed at all, completely empty, and you obviously they don't expect you to go in here. But the idea of it is you could walk into the volcano up there through there, so I like the way they've done that. And you've also got a nice little building at the back, no interior on the inside again. None of these buildings have got any interior. The cool thing about this mountain, it's kind of like they went, oh, we forgot to fill it in, that people are going to fly in here, and you can see through it here, but obviously there is still a texture there, so it hasn't been 100% complete, which I think is a cool little Easter egg and definitely worth checking out. You can also check out a few things around the side as well. We have some nice trees and stuff. The new tree design is very nice in the Fortnite Battle Royale universe. Also, we have the inside of these, which isn't decorated at all, but again, this is just more for like cosmetic looks. And finally, we have the battle bus throne on here, which is actually held up by two like kind of fire shine type things, if you want to call them. I don't know. These are just like really cool things that I guess they were going to put there originally, but they decided, you know what, we'll put the battle bus on there, and it looks pretty nice. So that's really cool. And then obviously you can go down to the beach over here, which probably won't let you because it's going to be a barrier, but that's the idea of it. We can expect more of this beach biome, I reckon, within season 9 or 10 when stuff starts to melt. That's my theory on that. Okay, so you're probably thinking, what on earth is Pat doing at the island again, but this time at night? Well guys, something to pretty much take into consideration is the island for playground and creative are two completely different islands. So we've got a brand new spawn island, a brand new creative island, and a brand new playground island, which is really awesome. So each spawn region is completely different. This is the creative spawn region, again a completely different design. It has the same sort of concept. This time they have decided to block the volcano up, so you can't actually get inside of it, which is really funny. I've tried getting inside of it. You might be able to get in from a different angle, but it seems like this one has been blocked up this time, whereas the playground one wasn't blocked up. I thought that was pretty funny. But you know, this time this is the creative version, and obviously the island design is slightly different. We don't have the battle bus throne anymore. I know I said before it was the creative island. It's the same sort of design, but this is the official creative one now, rather than being the battle royale island, which I think is really cool for the playground battle royale island. Anyway, you guys can explore this in your own time anyway in replay mode. I'm not going to go over all this because it's just the same sort of design, but a completely different kind of structure to it. But I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Let's jump back on over to the battle royale island. Okay, so we are back at the Battle Royale Island, and I thought I would go over a few different things which I've noticed. There's also a bunch of other stuff which I've noticed, which I'm going to save for another video, because there are so many changes in this update. Again, the video would go on for about 2 hours if I kept making these. Probably going to end up making about 4 or 5 of these over the next few days, because we'll obviously discover more map changes. But this is pretty cool because there are 7 of these on the map. I'm going to go over all 7 quickly for you guys. I'll have a little bit of footage for that playing right now. Okay, so taking a look at all these are all the locations which will definitely help you out complete that challenge. But generally each one of these has a unique design. They are very well built, and that's why I thought I'd put them in, because you know, they're not exactly huge map changes, but technically they're a rebuild or redesign or an invasion from the pirates in the storyline on these locations in Fortnite Battle Royale in the universe. And it's cool seeing these buildings turn into a new design. I feel like everything that's been put into it makes this location kind of worthy of landing at, or at least going to loot if you're nearby. You know, these locations and stuff, there are so many locations on the map now compared to what it used to be back in season 1 and 2. You're probably never going to land at one of these locations unless it's a challenge or you're walking by, but you know, they're cool for that, and I think that's why these locations deserve their spot in today's video as quite a lengthy spot, because everything about them, like just look at the detail on the inside and everything, it's very nicely done, and it works well with the storyline, obviously with the idea of the pirates coming and stuff like that. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, like I've already mentioned. But it's just really cool. These places really fit in the Fortnite universe, and they work well with what's happening in Season 8. In general, each one has very nice interior and it's very nice design. What really makes these buildings eye-catching for someone like myself is the idea of them not being symmetrical. When a build is symmetrical and kind of just doesn't fit nicely with the eye. It just doesn't work very well in the Fortnite universe. I feel like Fortnite feels like it's real. It should be working as a real life thing. But most builds which are symmetrical to me feel just plain and feel like they're missing something that makes it eye-catching. And we will go to talk about a symmetrical build which has been added in within the block in the next section really of this video. We're just going over all these because I really do like the design for them, and generally the whole Fortnite map isn't symmetrical, so symmetrical builds can work really well in certain environments and certain like genres and maps, but I feel like in Fortnite the idea of a symmetrical build doesn't fit the battle royale genre. Most things like that really should be in a maybe futuristic game or save the world, maybe something like that, if you get where I'm coming from with stuff like that. But yeah, that's everything for these things. We're going to be moving on to another really interesting map change to note is the idea of the actual hero base now having trees falling in on it. This base has really been run down. I remember when this mansion slash base was amazing and had some really cool features with it, but now the whole place has been completely boarded up, completely run down, and basically is ready for kind of destruction really. Someone bring in a bulldozer and take this place down and build something else here, because you know this place has really hit its all-time low and now has trees falling inside of it. For example, the earthquake has clearly knocked this tree into the mansion and we've had a lot of problems in here. So if you guys have been visiting the mansion, you'll notice that the whole place is completely trashed, and I feel sorry for it because it was a very good location when it was first introduced. So rip to the season 4 mansion it originally was, where Omega was based. So rip on that one. I really did like your mansion, Omega. It's a shame to see it go, and it really is, because it was a really nice design, and I love the little base at the back over here as well. Was a plane here by any chance? I can't remember if a plane actually spawned here within season 7. I can't remember. If you guys know that one, leave it in the comment section down below. Alright guys, so the final thing I wanted to include in today's video was the block built by Hellraiser. This one is a interesting design. To be honest, it probably isn't my favorite block because it's too bulky in my opinion. I feel like the design for it is lacking compared to some of the other blocks. If you guys remember the Chinese New Year ones and other ones like that, we've had a lot better design blocks. This one just feels very bulky, very symmetrical, and you know, when I look at builds and stuff from someone that used to build very well in Minecraft Survival, builds like this to me just don't catch my eye. They have to be not symmetrical and they have to fit in as a kind of like a different type of design, appealing to the eye. For example, a building like this appeals to the eye because it's different, but when you look at a build like this, to me it's just too bulky. So it goes down there with some of the less creative blocks in my opinion, but there are some good things about this block which you should consider. This block itself has some really nice interior designs. I think the interior has been thought through pretty well. They've kind of gone through a lot of different things. It's like a castle that's in the middle of a battle, I get the impression from, but also has a few cool designs on the interior. For example, the chairs and kind of like this, like the church type area, I guess this would be. And the interior has definitely been thought through pretty well. There are a lot of blank spaces in this block, which is quite disappointing. You know, when you walk through the corridors and stuff, a lot of the spaces aren't filled out. It's kind of a shame really when you see certain blocks being added in that aren't 100% complete. Like this room here, for example, you can come in here and it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles with only one interior design. You can see where I'm getting at with this. The block is huge. Obviously they've had to cut a few things out to make it work in the game, because this was definitely over 50,000 memory, 100%. Rather than me complaining about the block's design and kind of like the way it's shaped and stuff, it's just the symmetrical style of stuff I don't like and the wasted space. You know what I'm like? Someone that's really picky with builds. I like to make sure everything's perfect, especially someone that studies the map changes near enough every single week. I'll notice if something is good or bad in the map changes, and I mention that as I go around the map changes. You guys know that. So as we go inside of here, the most interesting thing inside of this block is this one chest on this left hand side. This chest will actually give you a guaranteed gold weapon every single time. So let me pop into an actual battle royale map and show you guys this. Here's some of the gameplay of the brand new gold chest. This is absolutely insane because you're basically guaranteed a gold weapon every single time. Honestly, I would 100% land here if you guys have got the time. We can definitely expect this to come all over the map over the next few weeks or so. You know, they've just introduced it for some reason inside the block, maybe to get some attention to the block, obviously, because the rest of the map has kind of basically outdone the block, if you should say. You can't beat the rest of the map. It's an environmental change rather than a tiny little block change, and that's the difference between it. And I guess not many people will be landing at the block this week, so most people will be landing at the volcano type side of the map, and then obviously they may discover this chest, and that might encourage people to land there just for a gold weapon guaranteed. or you may not want to land there or not. So I'm going to make a separate video on this because it's an interesting topic. I'll put it right at the end to keep you guys up to date with it. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I've got another map change video coming out either later tonight or tomorrow, depending on how long it takes me to make. Honestly, there are so many map changes. As I'm editing this video, I'm already finding more map changes, but I can't include them in this one because it's already extremely long. I could make one massive video of all the map changes, but I think it's better to break them up so you can get a rough preview of what you're going to see in the thumbnail and stuff, so it makes it easier for me to explain stuff as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, comment down below Volcano, and I'll be able to see which ones of you have made it to the end. And once again, this is Postboxpat, signing out.